Hi everybody. If you're watching this, you have been assigned, probably by me, to build a Google site for an assignment in class. What this video is going to do is going to take you through the process of creating a Google site and also how to do some of the other tips and tricks and little things like that and things you need to do to get the best grade that you possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this assignment by taking captures of the screen and movements that I do, and this is designed for you to be able to follow it and to stop at any time if you get lost or confused and to go back and listen to me. So here we go. Okay, getting started. The first thing that you want to do is you want to have a web browser open and you want to go to Google. This is where everything's going to take place over the web. You shouldn't have to do much more of that, but make sure that you are logged in. You should see your picture up here. And then also just go to Google and type in Google Sites. You should see it come up, and when you click on it, if you are logged in, it's going to take you to this page. Now I've created a few in the past, so you can see some of my older ones here, but we'll create a brand new one just for this. If you just click on Create, it'll take you to the next page. You can either select a template to use, a blank template, or browse for more gallery art. For this particular one, let's just name our site Tutorial Practice Site. For this particular one, for if you're doing the 1920s assignment, for instance, you might want to name it 1920s assignment and have your name in it. If you're doing for a portfolio, you might want to have your name and whatever class's portfolio is in it. That's how you want to be able to name your site. And then URLs can also only use these particular characters. The other thing too is it's going to tell you this is going to have the look of your website name, so this might be the URL for your particular website. You can use a blank template, but they're pretty boring and you have to make a lot of changes once you do that. I'm all for anybody that wants to use one of the templates that they give you. There's lots of different ones on here. If you can see activities and events, several different ones that are pretty neat. I'm going to use checkout. So we can use that particular one. You want to use one that goes along with whatever your particular theme might happen to be. If it's an art class, you might want to use a rather artistic one. If it's a business class, you might want to use something rather businessy and professional. For tutorials, since you're doing it for the 1920s project and also for your e-portfolios, you might want to do something that matches you. So now that we've chosen that, we can hit Create after we've named it, and it's going to create your site. Now this is the home of our new website, and really the biggest parts that we want to focus on today are really up here, these two buttons that are up here. The first one is your ability to edit the page. So if you want to click on the edit button, this is your first of all your first home page, so you might change this to home and then your name or home or any information that you want to put in there. Any changes that you want to make, you'll make under the edit screen. Across the top you can see that you can insert images, any other posts, anything you want to attach, any files, even YouTube clips that you can put in. So anything you're going to put into this page you can do from insert. Format can change the alignment that you have, any headings you want to put in there. If you want to put in a table, you can also do that. You can also change how your paragraphs look with the layout, and what it means by that is you could have a two-column layout, and it'll give you two different boxes in here, and each one of these you can click in it and just add in text as you need it, or add in, let's say, a picture if you wanted to. So if I wanted to insert image, you could do an uploaded image. You could even do one from a website if you wanted to. So there's a couple different ways to add photos to it. Like I said, you can work with that layout. All of your text editing tools are going to be up here. You can change the font size, the font type. You can do bold, italics, underline. You can change the colors of it. You can add in hyperlinks. You can do bulleting, numbering. You can change the alignment of everything you have up here. So anything that you want to put on this page. For tutorial, for your 1920s project, this is where you probably want to introduce whoever your subject happens to be. It might be Al Capone or whoever your person is. This is where you're going to have your first introductory slide. This is the first page that anybody's going to see when they click on your website. For your e-portfolio, it has to be a picture of you that greets people and also just a nice welcome to it. So depending on whatever you're doing, that's going to be the first thing that you have to do. The tricky thing about some of the Google sites is that you need to save your pages frequently. Anytime you make any editing, it's not going to save until you hit the save on top. So I've put in the text, this is my first page for the assignment, and then I'm going to go ahead and just hit save. It's going to take me back out to my home page, and now my text is viewable. Same thing if you insert any movies or any pictures, it's always going to look a little bit different after you save it. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to insert a new page in. So the name of a page might be part 2 of whatever my assignment happens to be. I'll use it under the this web page template and then hit create. So it's going to give me part 2 on here, and then I can add in any text I want. So this will be page 2. And I need to make sure that I save it. Actually, before I do that, let's make it bold, and we can underline it too, and hit save. And so now it showed up on there. And you can see some of the other information that's on here. So I can also go back to my home page if I'd like to. And so this is how you continually add in pages. For those of you who have different assignments, the new page feature is what's going to work best for you. Now let's say I add in several pages, and this is what something might look like with several pages. And this is part 1, so you need to add in your name, your person's name, nicknames, famous quotes. This is what that initial page looks like when somebody gets there. So if I wanted to change that text, I can't just click on it and do it. I actually have to go to the edit page part. And from in here you can see where my picture is, and I can shift my picture around if I need to, or I can add in some columns or things like that if I want to. Now what you should do is continually be saving after you make any kind of changes on something. So for this one, if I center it and then save it, it'll take me back out. Now if I need to add more pages in, remember that's always up here. If I want to change my theme or any of the other actions that I want to do, other than just editing the page, there's a ton of information under the More tab. You can go to your page revision history. You can see the changes you've made. You can take a look at the page settings. A lot of the stuff that you'll need is going to be in Edit Site Layout and Manage Site, these two places. If you go to Edit the Layout, this allows you to edit things like your sidebar. So I can go to my sidebar and edit any of the items that I want on there. For this one I just took off the sidebar. I might want to put that one back on later. But if you want to go to Manage Site, this is where you can change your site name. You can give your site a description. You should probably put in a lot of these things. You also have some other things like themes, colors, and fonts. So let's say, for instance, that I want to change my theme and some of the colors. The theme I have on right now is called Smoke. Let's change it to something 20s. We'll call it Tiles. And if I can preview it down here, I think that looks okay, and hit save. The Manage Site part is where you'll find a lot of the changes that you're going to need to make. And then I hit save again, and it's going to take me back out to my site. If I click on it there, so you can see the theme has changed just a little bit. I've made a couple of minor changes to it. Let me put it more. Edit Site Layout. I've enabled my sidebar so you can see some of the other things that I have on here. I'm going to go to close on that, and if I click on background, it should take me to the background place. The date of birth, place of birth, residences, those things you need to add in here. You also need to add in a video. Adding the video is a little bit on the tricky side. If you just go back up to Edit Page, this is what it looks like when you insert a video. So if you go in and just go to Insert, go down to YouTube and click on it, it's going to ask you for the URL of the video that you wanted. Let's say the video size. If you want a border, you can include the title on it. So Al Capone goes to jail. if I wanted to change the title of that. So Al Capone Goes to Jail is on there, and if I just hit save, now the video shows up. So be careful with that when you're editing it, and you might not see it right away, but you need to continue adding these pages on so you can see accomplishments, most interesting. These are all different pages that I created that have the information on here. Now you'll need to fill in the information for whatever your teacher wants you to do, but that's how you get it done. I hope that helps, guys. If you need any help or any other assistance, the Google site is actually pretty good for typing into the help bar any questions that you have, and sometimes just searching the internet is pretty good too. So good luck and happy website making.